Okay, let us now look at the neurons. And you will remember that's great, Lena. A neuron is a specialized cell which connects the brain and the spinal cord to all other parts of the body. So usually there are questions. Sometimes you have to draw the neuron, sometimes you have to label. So let us look at the structures of the neurons. So what are neurons? Neurons are specialized cells which connect the brain and the spinal cord to other parts of the body. So this is a structure of a neuron, as you can see. So the structure, this is a simple structure of the neuron. You have to know the drawing, you have to know the labels, and you also have to know the functions. So let us now look at the labels. You can see here, this is a cell body. Okay, this is a cell body. So when you draw your structure, you also draw a cell body. And these are the dendrites, as you can see them. These are the dendrites, these things that are like branches. This is a nucleus, as you can see. This is a nucleus, and this is the axon. This thing inside here is an axon. And what is the function of an axon? It transmits impulses away from the cell body. What is the function of the dendrite? It transmits impulses towards the cell body of the neuron. What is the function of the nucleus? The nucleus, you remember that the nucleus has got DNA inside. So it's got the hereditary information inside here. Okay, and then what you have here, we've got the myelin sheath. So you also need to know the labels. In other books, they write labels and the function as well. So this is the structure of a neuron. It's very important to know it as well. And this structure here is a sensory neuron. Remember, the function of the sensory neuron is that it transmits impulses from the sense organs to receptors to the spinal cord and brain. Okay, so the type of a neuron that you see here is a sensory neuron. If you want, you can call it the afferent neuron. So it senses the stimulus. That is why it is called the sensory neuron. The function of it is that it transmits impulses from the sense organs or receptors to the spinal cord and the brain. So this is a structure, as you can see. This is the direction of the impulses, and this is the cell body, as you can see as well. So this is called the sensory neuron. Okay, so don't be confused, and you have to know the difference between the neurons. Okay, and then what you see here is the motor neuron. So the motor neuron actually transmits impulses from the brain and spinal cord to the effectors, okay, to the muscles and glands. The effectors bring about the response. So the type of a neuron that you see here, you see a motor or the efferent neuron. So just try and memorize this. So it's a response to this stimulus. The function of a motor neuron is that it transmits impulses from the brain and spinal cord to the effectors, to the muscles. As you can see here, that there is a muscles. So the muscles and glands. The effectors bring about the response. Okay, so okay, this is the cell body, and this is the direction of the impulse. And what you call this, we call it a motor neuron. Okay, let's go to the next one. The interneuron. So the interneuron, it links it links the sensory neuron to the motor neuron. That's the function of the interneuron. This is the inter or the connector neuron found in the brain and the spinal cord as well. So this is the structure, as you can see, and this is a cell body. And what I'm talking about is the interneuron. So a synapse is the functional connection between the axon of one neuron and the dendrites of another neuron. Margaret of Luna, we call it the end of our lesson. So in this lesson, I wanted us to look at the neurons. So what you can do now is to try and look at the differences between the types of neurons that we have discussed, and note the difference as well, and know the labels, know the drawing. If you would get a question on your paper, you must know how to draw it, how to label it, and also know the functions. So what I'll be sending you is the activities, so that you can see how these things are asked. Okay.